Hey guys, I'm Brittany Smith with Men's Fitness, here with Joe Holder, Nike Master Trainer, Health and Wellness Consultant, and the founder of the Ocho System. Joe, thank you for being here.
Quite the mouthful there. But yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it, Britt.
So tell us a little bit about how you got started with the Ocho System and what it's all about.
You want like the Genesis story?
I do.
I guess I'll give you the cliff notes, but basically, so I went to the University of Pennsylvania, played football there, grew up in a super, healthy family. Dad's a doctor, one of seven. My mom's super into kind of just wellness, yoga teacher. But while I was at the University of Pennsylvania playing football, basically I was dealing with a lot of stressors, and which culminated in an injury on the field, and my body wasn't healing, and I was trying to figure out what was up. And it basically came down to one day, because my ankle wasn't healing and doctors couldn't really tell me what was going on, I took a step back and worked it back with my dad to be like, look, we have to figure out what's going on with my ankle and also what's going on with me from a mental and emotional standpoint, which we later found out was feeding in to why my body wasn't healing. And after I kind of documented my journey and was showing people, my wellness strategies, it kind of just grew into the Ocho System because I saw that people were intrigued by it. And then my fifth year, when I was playing football, I broke my leg. And at that point, I was like, you have a choice here. You could either resort back to how you previously felt and not be able to deal with this injury. And I was told I would be out for the year, but I was like, look, I'll be back. And I kind of put everything I had to the test, and I came back in 4 weeks. So I thought maybe that I was onto something.
So when did you take to Instagram? Was that kind of a strategic move to get a broader range of people involved and aware of kind of your holistic approach?
My brother forced me to get on Instagram.
Smart man.
Didn't want to. A fun fact, as a kid, I used to hate pictures with not me in them. So that was probably part of my reluctance. But I did it, and at first you're super into, figuring out how many followers you have, who's unfollowing you, whatever. And people weren't taking to my story at first. They're like, what is this kid talking about? Like,
Well, you're still really young.
Yeah, I guess I got on with 22. I mean, I'm 27 now, for reference. I never say my age with anything, but there you go. So I got on Instagram really as an experience to show how I can tell my story in a very high quality way, not really to showcase myself. I think that's a little bit overrated, but I had no intention of thinking that this would grow into anything. I'm sure everyone says that, but I really had literally none, and people just convinced me to keep kind of telling my story and my, my background, the education that I kind of studied. Storytelling always interested me, so I just got on Instagram because I was forced.
Now, did you get a lot of feedback from people who were asking you questions, looking for your feedback on their own personal stories?
Yes, which humbles me because a lot of times, anybody who knows me, as you do too, sometimes I'm a little bit late. I have a hard trouble answering texts, but I try my best to give feedback because at the end of the day, if somebody's gonna take the time to watch whatever it is that I'm doing, take the time then to reach out and take the time in any capacity, whether it's that I inspired them or they had a question. I just want to have some little moment in their life that I can provide some sort of value. So people reach out, I do my best to answer questions. Hopefully it's of assistance. And I just want people to basically, I don't want people to rely on me forever. That's kind of a core tenet of the Ocho System, is like one number, infinite opportunities. Like all my clients or people that I deal with or work with, I want it to be a weaning off process.
Right.
So if people come to me first and they want some high quality information that they can then turn to knowledge and apply strategically in their life, that's what I want. So if somebody's reaching out, I have to answer. Like that's just, I have to. Now I'm, I'm a Nike Master Trainer, run coach, all that stuff.
Extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire.
So they also introduced you to some of your really high-profile clients.
They did?
Models, celebrities, personalities. What are some misconceptions that you get from people who think they might not be working that hard, or do they glamorize what you do with these people?
They think, especially with a lot of the models, they think they don't work hard.
Right.
And the fact that, and I know, some people may take this the wrong way. People get a lot of flack for the way this is, perceived. But in my opinion, to an extent, models, the ones that work hard and truly invested in their fitness and wellness and performance, are the closest things to professional athletes, because for better or for worse, their bodies are so glamorized and highly scrutinized in a huge magnifying glass that they have to be so invested in everything that is what they do. So everything that they do in their daily life goes towards what their body looks like.
And you don't just have you know, a teeny tiny part of like role in their lives either. It's not just like an hour session, X amount of days of the week.
Yeah.
I mean, for the Victoria's Secret show, you traveled them to Shanghai. You
Yeah.
have a more involved role.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky because, I mean, some of these sessions go 2-3 hours because just everything that needs to get done. But I did go to Shanghai, and luckily I've, you know, struck a friendship with a lot of these, whether, you know, it's models or athletes or, you know, personalities. I like to think of it as anybody can give you a workout, right?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean it'll be well.
Right.
Everybody can give you a workout. Now it's like, how do you strike up a relationship with individuals to make sure that they're engaging the behavior that's outside of the gym?
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually, you know, I take a liking in a true kind of interest in their daily life, because I think that's important. I just think you need a social structure,
Yeah.
and you need like sincerity. So it definitely, I guess, goes a little bit deeper than simply just kind of being a trainer. Life's hard. I've been through a lot. I've struggled both, you know, mentally and emotionally and physically. So when somebody comes to me to get a goal, I really, you know, do take an investment in their overall well-being, and I think that relates to a lot of with a lot of my clientele,
Mm-hmm.
and they appreciate that. And you know, I just try to be by their side through life in any way that I can. So we end up
Yeah.
all being friends, and you know, then we just happen to work out sometimes.
What are some of the hardest parts about your job and the most rewarding?
Hardest parts. The hardest part is, I would say early mornings, but I'm not an early morning guy. You're not getting me up right now. The hardest part is basically is basically the commitment to excellence, right? It's very easy to get frustrated and overwhelmed by just the amount of information that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
or some other things that are going on in the industry. But the hardest part is just the constant investment in yourself, because simply, you know, if you have to be a vehicle for others, that you
Mm-hmm.
have to manifest your top product, which is me to an extent every day.
Yeah.
So if like knowledge is my ultimate currency, that continuous not getting complacent. It's okay to get comfortable, right? So I want to get comfortable and flow and always get better, but not getting complacent,
Mm-hmm.
and not getting too stuck in my own kind of like psychographic and way of thinking and mental model to know that there's not a better way to evolve and do better.
Right.
But to an extent, that's also the best part of it too, because it's like, it's just such a continuous journey. But the best part always is when someone thanks me. Basically, it's like I operate relatively at a kind of like a even keel, and I've kind of been or wanted to be that alpha dog, big male on campus, where I've had all the spotlight on me, or like I want to be that guy, but.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't even appeal to me anymore, probably because I've just been humbled through so many injuries and just life experiences. So the best part about it are the thank yous, or when someone is so sincere, or, you know, I've had people cry, I've had people invite me to their weddings. Like when people say thank you for playing a instrumental part in their health, which is crazy because that's such a revolutionary step to say that
Yeah.
I want to get healthy and well, and then you have to be vulnerable and kind of humble yourself. And then when they come back and say thank you and actually got the job done, and you know they're growing in their own personal life, that's what truly makes me happy, right? Like there's just such emotional contagion. It's so special.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's cheesy,
But it's true.
that's what makes, you know, happiness is hard sometimes for me to find, and that's what puts a smile on my face when I see that.
So what do we have next for you now?
What's next? Long story short, you know, keep, you know, growing and building with Nike. Create a high quality content infrastructure. So, because I just want people to be able to learn from all the stuff that, you know, I'm seeking to do. I have some other things that I can't share, but that are going to be fun. 2018, 19.
So we'll stay tuned
watch
for
out.
that.
It's big years. 18, 19.
19. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, of course. I hope I didn't ramble too much.
No, you're great.